Now from the home of the Dog Pound, EA Sports welcomes you to Huntington Bank Field here in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And off we go from Cleveland. Here's Pierre Strong to return it from his end zone. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Looking to throw right away is Watson. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. 23 yards the pickup there.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards. The handoff to Ford up the middle. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Second and 8 coming from the 19. Throw right side is going to be caught by Judy. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4. Third and 4. Back to throw, Watson. Right back to Judy, and it's complete. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the first. Call it a gain of a yard, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
That is caught. And the Browns are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. And now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal line and not cash in. They've got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. Now it's Watson. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
I'm actually looking at this play with defensive eyes here, partner, because they were still laser focused on him after his earlier exploits on this drive. I think they went back to the well just a little bit too soon. He got across the line of scrimmage, but they certainly weren't giving up much more than that.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. Touchdown, Browns. Deshaun Watson on target to David Njoku. And the Browns get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Right off the bat, they start with a very solid, methodical 10-play drive.
And you know me, I tend to look at things from the defensive side. they're coming off the field gassed right away. We're in the first drive of the game. So it's not just what happened, but think of the emotion you carry into a game, then double it with getting a 10-play drive put on you and points scored. They're pretty tired right now.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And now here comes Kansas City. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll start the drive here with Pacheco. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka in pursuit that time, and he gets the tackle for loss.
I really like what he did there because he took his practice work and converted it to game action because he used his hands, got off the block, worked laterally and stayed to the outside, and finished off the runner for a loss.
Here's Mahomes to throw. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. And he'll be taken down at about the 45.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want, and other times, the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Pacheco gets it again on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
This now a 3rd and 4. Now Mahomes. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want to throw body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping in one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Mahomes. Open man here. It's the tight end, Kelsey. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 20-yard line. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. They'll run out of the gun with Pacheco. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Big impact play, a tackle for loss.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now here's Mahomes. It's Kelsey on the ground. And the Chiefs are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle made at the 10-yard line. So they gave up the early touchdown. This has been a pretty good response. Nice drive, taking it down 1st and goal.
And I know all the cliches jump in, right? Don't get away from your game plan too early. Make sure you're settled down. Don't panic. But it's all true, isn't it? Because otherwise, you get out of what you plan to do during the game, and it's still early. Don't get crazy because you gave one up. Just respond as you just noted.
3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal. They run it with Pacheco from the gun. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Chiefs respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. And that caps off what was really a balanced opening drive for them, Charles. They work in the rushing game and the aerial attack, and they end it with a touchdown.
Strong in so many ways, wasn't it, partner? Their ability to throw it and run it and accomplish their goal, they've got to like the way that they started this ball game.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback. And we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now. But this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down. They run with Ford. And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
And, partner, when you run the ball on 3rd and 2, you're telling the whole world you've got nothing but confidence in your offensive line and your runner, and you expect to get it. But they were stuffed on that play, only got 1 yard. Great job by the defensive front, the linebackers, everyone got involved to force a 4th down.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Kansas City taking the field for their second drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. Over the middle, that's caught by Rice. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Oh, I see you nodding your head along with me, partner, because it's pretty obvious what they were trying to do there on the drag route. With his speed, they're hoping he can turn the corner and maybe take this to the house. But that was excellent work defensively to make sure once he caught it, he wasn't going anywhere.
From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
And that is how you respond after taking one on the chin to begin this game. Give up a first drive touchdown, go back out on defense, and completely shut them down to force a 3-and-out.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Prochet on the return. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Throw left side complete. That's Moore. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Here's Watson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ford. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12. These two teams all tied after 1. On to the 2nd from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. From the 50, it's Watson. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
I believe I could see what they were trying to do there, but unfortunately, the back ran out of room, too close to the sideline. And for defenders, we're often taught, 11 on the field, those sidelines can become the 12th defender. It worked to the defense's advantage on that play.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Oh, I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Now Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I'll tell you what, these last couple of drives, much better from a defensive perspective. They gave up a touchdown on the opening drive, and then after forcing a punt on their last possession, it looks like they're going to get the football back again.
On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Nice chunk of yards on 1st down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on 2nd. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Working from the gun, Mahomes. And this pass broken up. The contact well-timed there, and now 4th down.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Now a high kick, almost a pooch punt. Now a fair catch taken, maybe a yard or two shy of midfield. So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. And Chubb try the middle here. He'll take this to the 46.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42. Here is 3rd and 5. Watson now to throw. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And, of course, that's not an easy man to sack. You know how elusive he can be trying to get outside of the pocket. That was a great play on the defensive side.
And I wonder what was going through his mind because he didn't seem as committed to using his legs to pick up yardage. He wanted to keep that play alive, so either take off and go or throw it away. But he held on to the football and ended up getting sacked.
Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
KC's offense ready to take over. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Headed straight, it's Pacheco. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. They get 1 yard back there to make it 2nd and 14.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. Mahomes now to throw. Short throw hauled in by Kelsey. And that's good for a gain of 6. And 3rd and 8 now.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Mahomes. He'll get this into the hands of the rookie from Texas. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
It was Maurice Hurst who got him down.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. Mahomes going to fire quickly to Worthy. Powering his way forward. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A gain there of 21 yards. That's how you draw up the run-pass option right there. You get a chunk play out of it.
And you know quarterbacks love to throw the RPOs because oftentimes they're in-breaking routes, but receivers love it even more. The ball gets to them quickly, allows them to put some moves on in the secondary.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. Pitch and catch here to Travis Kelce. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it'll be second down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. Now 2nd and 9. Pacheco gets it up the gut. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 10 and a Kansas City first down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Mahomes going to throw. Finding Gray on the out route. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be second down. They'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now 1 yard to go on third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's 1st and goal.
That's a tremendous group effort there because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. And he's got it. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Mahomes hitting his favorite target, Travis Kelce, on the touchdown pass. And the Chiefs have taken the lead.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 14-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula that got them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe they can get this game tied up.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
2nd and 5. Out of the gun, Watson. Gets this over the middle to Tillman. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
That was good, tough running right up the middle, and if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Watson. Out quickly to Judy. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down.
And I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
2nd down and 4. Here's Watson. Right back to Judy, and it's complete. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Back to throw, Watson. The ball comes out, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Cleveland offense making their way out. They trail a 1-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. To throw is Watson. To the right side, that's where Tillman is. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 13-yard line. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
From the gun, here's Watson. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
2nd and 10. Now it's Watson. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here is 3rd down and 4. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Browns are an extra point away from tying the ball game here in the final minute of the first half. Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
The Chiefs going to go back on offense one final time in this first half.
And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts, and he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run.
The Chiefs ready to rock again on offense. And we'll see how they want to play this. Just a little over 20 seconds to go. Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6.
Here's Mahomes to throw.
Able to find Gray here.
Now another timeout called for by the offense as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1.
Third down and 1.
Now here's Mahomes.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. Now Mahomes. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. In for the sack, Myles Garrett. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard.
Taking it about the 1. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Chiefs ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
In motion, the tight end, Kelsey.
Pacheco gets it again on second down.
And he's going to be down at the 35, gain of 7.
Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. To throw, it's Mahomes.
That one caught by Rice.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. 47 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves.
And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Marquise Brown, a 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Chiefs have taken the lead as they go right into the second half. Butker now to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. Well, Charles, you and I said at intermission, feels like we're set up for a good second half. Well, the other side scored. Now it's up to them to answer. How do they respond here with their first drive of the second half?
Well, bottom line is they just saw the ball go in the end zone against their defense, and they saw what good offense looks like. They believe they've got a good offense as well. Run the best plays you've got to the top performers you have and try and move that ball down the field for an answering score. Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
Well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. So the completion good for 7 there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. He's got size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
Here's Watson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
This is Ford. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
2nd down and 8. Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory as they're down to the 29-yard line. And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I'd keep going back to him.
Again, they turn to Ford. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. They'll try the air now with Watson. And his throw here's incomplete.
So it looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Watson now to throw. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the 1st, right around the 15. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be 4th down.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a 1st down.
Hopkins' kick is good, and that'll bring him back within 4.
Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he returns this to the 22.
And now here comes Kansas City. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Throwing now is Mahomes.
Throw over the middle, caught by the tight end Gray.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Pacheco gets it and tries the left side. He'll get it across the 35. It'll be 2nd down.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. Again, it's Pacheco. And he'll get about 3 out of that up to the 39-yard line. Third and 5.
Looking to throw is Mahomes.
He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. That'll go for only 17 yards on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gassed,
yeah,
right?
a little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield, only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense. Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Moore, the man in motion. And now a fake on the jet sweep and a give to Chubb.
Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. 3rd and 2. On the ground, it's Ford. And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. Give them the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
A give running right is Chubb. And he'll work down inside the 45. All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now Watson. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Now Chubb running right.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
So that run play nullified by the holding call on the tight end.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get off the ball a lot quicker and get into the block a little bit more effectively. Then he doesn't have to reach and grab and try and hold on.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. In motion, the tight end. Following the penalty, Chubb.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38.
That'll net 7 yards on the ground, but it'll leave him with a healthy distance still to go on 3rd down.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the 4th. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
This is the tight end, Njoku.
And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
No surprise they decided to throw on 3rd down. A little bit of a surprise that they completed the pass and lost yardage on the play.
The Browns send out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. And now a high kick, but he hit it straight up. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10.
And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
The Chiefs in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Mahomes going to throw. Complete. The tight end, Kelsey. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the fourth quarter.
A handoff now for Pacheco.
Fighting through it, he's got space. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell them to back off of being aggressive. But sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose. And just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. First down.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find the answers, and they've got to find them quick.
Mahomes now to throw. And it's caught.
And the Chiefs are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
Oh, nice job there putting the ball right in the doorstep of the goal line. Couldn't quite get in to pay dirt, but he got awfully close. Let's see if they can cash it in over the next couple of plays.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up.
Punt is into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And that pushes the lead up to 11. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. With the football going back over now to the Cleveland Browns. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10.
Right at the 30. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that will bring up 2nd down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a 1-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line.
Watson.
Throw left side, he's got Tillman.
And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. The catch and run, good for 18 and a 1st down.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
Up the middle, it's Chubb. 20, 10, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb, 50 yards.
And the Browns have made it a 1-score game again here in the fourth.
Well, I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, That got done.
But he will not get in here. He stopped up short of the goal line, and this will remain a 5-point game. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field.
Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. This will be caught by Brown. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave them with a second and just a few inches left.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
An ideal spot here to get a first down and try to run some more clock. And this is 2nd and less than a yard.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Partner, for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. They're looking at 3rd and the nose of the football.
Shotgun snap to Mahomes.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Pacheco gets it again on 2nd down.
And he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's about it. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Third down and 10.
In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Over the middle here to Brown. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. So a big one coming now for Harrison Butker. This to put him a touchdown and a 2-point conversion up.
Butker's kick here is good. Well, Charles, the NFL record is 66 yards. That was 5 shy of that, but only a handful of guys have ever connected from 61 or deeper, and he can add his name to the list.
Yeah, more and more guys are trying it. That doesn't mean the success rate has gone up. That is a long kick. Guaranteed, when he turns on his phone after the game, a ton of congratulatory texts will be awaiting him.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away.
From the end zone, it's Strong. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Browns set to take over. And remember, despite giving up the field goal, this is still a 1-score game. They're in need of the touchdown and a 2-point conversion. A field goal on this drive likely doesn't do them much good. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10
at their own 24.
And from the shotgun, he'll throw. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw, Watson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Well, I think we were both wondering if we were going to see them try and push it deep downfield, facing a one-possession deficit late, and they certainly didn't disappoint. They gave it an effort.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw is Watson. And he's taken down, a Chiefs sack.
That was Nick Bolton rushing in and burying him behind the line. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
That'll be a 41-yard punt, just 1 yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd down and 3. They run it with Pacheco from the gun.
And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2.
And this is the worry because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now.
In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. From midfield, here's Mahomes.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That was simply snap, rock, and fire. I mean, they didn't take long at all. Slant route, and I loved where he put it. He put on the body of the receiver low so that only he can catch it.
Yeah, I don't think there was any magical formula there. Defensively, that's just tough to defend.
Very much so. And that way it allows the receiver to keep his body in front of the defender and not allow him to go through him to knock the ball away.
The speed of Jordan Hicks on display there as he gets the tackle for loss.
So with your team leading in the 4th quarter, you know you've got to run the football. They know you've got to run the football. Sometimes that means there's nowhere to run the football.
Now Mahomes. Got a man. It's Brown. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And now we've got a 3rd and 4. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
In motion left goes a tight end.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Instead of a 3rd and 4, now they have to manage a 3rd and 9 after the delay of game. Here's Mahomes to throw. This will be caught once again by Brown. And they're going to have another 1st down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 25-yard line. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down.
And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he will have a Chiefs first down. And that's the one that should seal the victory. They'll run here with Pacheco.
And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
And Mahomes is going to keep it.
And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes, a 3-yard run as he kept it himself.
And the Chiefs have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt away the game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
From the end zone, it's Strong. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. So now it's Watson and the Browns.
Down by 15. Just over a minute, 40 to play. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down.
Now Watson.
He finds his man, complete. It's Ford. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? I mean, you'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time. This is almost like nickeling and diming it downfield, and too much time's going to run off the clock.
They'll come up now. 2nd and 9. Watson to throw.
Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes.
That's George Karlaftis who fought his way through the line to bury him. That time, Charles, great job keeping him in the pocket and not letting him escape.
And, Brandon, I think this was a great example of the front and the back working together, meaning the back covering, no place to go with the football. And the front, terrific job on the edge so he couldn't escape outside. And then, of course, the inside pressure kept him hemmed in as well.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
And the Chiefs are going to take over here up near the 40.
Victory in the cards now for the Chiefs as they take a knee here. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Cleveland.